Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Clark and thank you for joining us today for my special report brought to you by Crises. Today we have a very special guest on this segment today. Her name is Jackie Wilson. She's going to be talking to us about her experiences with domestic violence and her purpose in life and how she wants to give back to the community. Jackie, thank you so much for being on the show today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much, Brittany, for having me on the show. I do appreciate it.
You have a special story yourself that you've dealt with domestic violence. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
After I got divorced, it's been 8 years now that I've been divorced. And so afterwards, I'm in school for social work. And so in one of the classes that I was in, it was called victimology. And so in that particular class is where I actually got more introduced to what domestic abuse is. And then that's when I started to think back to what I had experienced in my marriage. And then I said, oh wow, talk to my professor. And she confirmed that I had dealt with domestic abuse. And so mine wasn't physical, it was more emotional, mental, psychological, and also financial abuse. And then I also dealt with some sort of it towards the end of spiritual abuse. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was, crippling knowing that I was dealing with those issues. And as I was going through that, I didn't understand why I had so many questions as to why his attitude was the way that it was and why I was being treated that way. And to me, I always just said it was just a lot of mind games. Mm-hmm. But I thought at that time, hey, we were a new married couple and maybe these were some of the issues that married people went through. But because I was so private, I didn't talk to anybody about it. Right. And then when I did start talking, it was just before I got ready we were going through the divorce, and then I started talking. I tried once, I shouldn't say that, I tried once and I was told just pray about it, what you were dealing with. And so that's what I kept hearing. I was driven to actually want to help other women because I felt like if I was struggling and suffering in silence, other people had to go through that too. Other women were dealing with that. And so
now I know that you do these baskets, like you have your baskets, you're giving back to the community, you're helping women. Could you just kind of explain how did that come about?
Well, it was something that I believe God gave me that vision to do. I give baskets out for women after I've had conversations with them, and it's based on that individual. Mm-hmm. And what I feel like their needs are, what I got from out of that conversation. So the basket can consist of, something as far as spa items will be in there, as far as facial items may be in there. It could be more or less just personal, intimate items may be in there. It could also be like a book or journal, for them to journal. So it really just depends on what I feel like through that conversation I got out of that and what I'm led to put in a basket for them. And so for me, I just felt like leaving from that type of a situation, knowing they're going into a shelter, mm-hmm. Is probably the next step for them. That way it would be more something personal for them. They can look at it and say, wow, this was made specially for me. Yeah. And make them feel better. And that way they can go into that shelter and have something a little bit more of normalcy to bring back into their life.
This one is specifically customized for an individual that Jackie put together herself, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Jackie, talk about what's inside of here.
Okay, so in this particular one, it does have some of the spa would be in there, like this has the bath salt is in here. I also included, which I really like, this is Do Not Disturb.
Oh yeah.
Really cool. This is something that I would like to have. I have one, but mine is more, it doesn't have this on there, so I love that. And then I also have this, so that way as they're accumulating the items that they're getting from me, as well as what they would get from when they go to the shelter for this particular person, this is a cosmetic bag, so she can open it up and put those items in. Yeah. And then also included a journal, so that way she can write, and that way that kind of helps to deprogram yourself after you're coming out of those abusive relationships.
Yes, Jackie, so you want to talk a little bit about how can people find you on social media, whether it's a referral, whether it's a person that's seeking out any of the services. Like I know you have your closet where people come and stop and drop buy clothes to you. Yes. If someone's interested in donating any clothes or any items for anybody, or even just someone that just wants to see if you need any assistance for anything else in regards to this, how do they get in contact with you?
Well, they can reach me by my email address, which is jwilson@rightconnections.org. But you can reach me on Facebook. You can send me a friend request on Facebook. I have 2 accounts, but the one specifically is for my business, which is Jackie. It's spelled Jacke Wilson, and you can reach me there as well. I'm also on Instagram, and that would be at RITE-connections.org on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for coming on our show, being a guest on my segment today. You guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Brittany Clark. This is my special report brought to you by Crises. Back to you guys in the studio.